Hey guys, this is Vitalik again. This is GnuCash tutorial part 2 and today we're gonna be talking about expense tracking. We will build a small and simple expense tracking system for you. The previous one was installing GnuCash and going through the onboarding. We've created one checking account. I bet it was pretty hard, and it was pretty hard for me when I've done it first. But this part will be much simpler in terms of technicalities, but rather you thinking on how you want to track your expenses, what do you think is the best, and the most important question, do you really need to track expenses with GnuCash now, or maybe it's better to do it later? This part is more about your financial situation rather than GnuCash technicalities. So before we jump into the weeds of GnuCash, I would suggest sitting and taking a piece of paper and laying out what's important for you in terms of tracking. And after that, we will be able to transfer it to GnuCash. Now, think about this, that it's not important to do it from the first time. It's okay to do it wrong first time and correct later. A good thing you're not alone on this journey. People were doing finances for quite a while, pretty much centuries, if not thousands of years, and they developed various approaches on tracking expenses and various things. So I would suggest to get the inspiration from the following systems. One of them is four walls, another one is needs, wants, savings, and another one is envelope system. There are much more complex situations like financial order of operations by Money Guy, and there is a fire movement. And if you're there, you probably know what to do. Okay, so the next question I would suggest thinking about. GnuCash introduces a lot of complexity to your financial life. And if you're struggling with that, have a financial anxiety or anything like that, I would suggest to first address that problem rather than jumping into something complex like GnuCash accounting. So if you're struggling with that and you want the way out, I would suggest using other apps like YNAB. It's You Need a Budget abbreviation. Another one is Every Dollar by Dave Ramsey. I know not everybody likes Dave Ramsey, so choose whatever fits your best. And when you're out of that and you need some more complexity, come back here and we'll set up your system from the ground. Quick concept. Everything is an account in GnuCash. And I know it might be confusing, and I really don't know the real reasons behind it. It may be an accounting quirk or maybe a GnuCash quirk, and I would suggest not to concentrate on that too much because really it's confusing. Why an expense is an account? It's really confusing. But if you step back and think about accounts and transactions in a way that GnuCash thinks, you will probably get the idea. So transaction is a way to transfer money from one place to another. And for example, you're going to the grocery store and buy something. What do? You pay with money, and when you pay with money, you move your money from your account to grocery store account, and that's how you track it. Another example is getting income. You're making income and you're transferring money from your company's account to your checking account. And if you adopt this mental model, it becomes much more simpler to understand why everything is an account and how to actually reason about transactions. Okay, so GnuCash has a lot of account types, but I don't think we need them from the very get-go. I think these types that are listed here can fit almost any financial situation in the world, at least if you're talking about the personal finance. So a couple of the accounts that is pretty useful for you are bank and cash account types. Bank is for checking and savings and any kind of depository accounts. Cash is basically money in your wallet if you want to track it, and maybe in a safe if you save the cash in the safe or under the mattress. Another pair is credit card and liability accounts. Those are very similar, if not the same, in the behavior. So, for example, credit cards, mortgage, car loans, personal loans, HELOC, any kind of loan can be tracked using this account type. Next one is expense. Expense is self-explanatory. It's basically an expense category, as if you think about other accounting applications. Income, again, one more self-explanatory thing. Okay, and probably the last accounting concept for today, call it placeholders. Think about that analogy from the previous tutorial when I was talking about accounts containing another accounts as folders. So if you think about that, you will have some kind of broad categories. So for example, expenses is pretty broad category of expenses, and placeholders are made for you not to confuse you by GnuCash, but actually to prevent you from recording transactions against very broad categories. So let's say you have a home and food category, and you want to break it down into several smaller pieces, then you will mark the home and food category as a placeholder, and I will show you later in the demo. Okay, so at this point you probably done your research and you have an idea how your expense tracking system would look like. Here is how our expense tracking system look like in our household. Again, this is not a silver bullet. It will not work for many of us. It will work for some of us. This is how we did it. You can do what you would prefer to do. So you can see it's probably influenced by the 4-wall budget. And here's our categories. Food and household. This is where we track our foods, our hygiene products, our household items. Number 2 is utilities. Our electricity bill, our water bill, and things like that go here. Number 3, home. When we rent it, the rent would go here. Now we own a home, so we track our expenses here. And number 4 is health. It's our copays, it's our insurance payments and things like that. Number 5 is personal. If you're single, you can keep it as a one category. If you're not, you can divide it into subcategories. So in our cases, it's 5 people in the household, so we divide it into 5. And number 6 is transportation, which is in Florida not possible to live without a car. So fuel, car service, and we own the car, so we don't pay any payments to the lender. But if we did, it would probably go here. And that's pretty much how we track the expenses in our household. Okay, so it's finally time to jump into GnuCash. And first thing first, I want to recommend you is to mark expenses as a placeholder. To do that, just click Edit. Oh, excuse me, you need to select it first and click Edit and mark it as a placeholder by ticking this box and just click OK. So this way you will not be able to record transactions against this account, only against the sub accounts. So let's just create our system, whatever we had on the paper, and let's do it one by one. The first one was food and household. Okay, you can expand expenses, and you can see it's created under the expenses. Now click New again. So the next one was utilities. The next one is home. The next one is health. And the next one is personal. Now, if you're single, it's just fine to leave it as is. If you're not and you want to track each person in the household, you can mark it as a placeholder, and I would suggest that. And then select personal again, click new, and just notice that right now I'm creating an account under personal. So for example, we have John, who is a husband, and we can create new again, and Jill, who is a wife. This way we can track them separately. Again, you do you, I don't insist on things. So the next one is transportation. Again, it's important to select account before creating a sub account. Click new again, and the last one was transportation. Just one thing, if you accidentally created account in the wrong place, it is still okay to delete it by clicking delete. Or if you want to move it to another place, so for example, if you want to move Jill to some other place, you can move her to another account, and this way you can see you can move accounts just easy. Drag and drop doesn't work here, but you can just make it like this. Yeah, and now we have a functioning, very simple tracking system in GnuCash. Okay, so to wrap it up, today we learned a lot of stuff again. One of them is probably you don't need GnuCash if you're in tough position right now. Another one is personal finance is really personal, so think hard on how to build the system. It's not an event, it is a process of building the system. So the one that you've seen took us quite some years to end up in that place. And couple new accounting concepts, which is everything is an account and everything is in transfer. In GnuCash, maybe in accounting too, but you should not care about that too much. So next time we will cover a couple more account types, and that are income and credit. Thank you so much and stay tuned.